Ikaw ba ay may reklamo sa mga abusado o tiwaling pulis? Pwedeng magsumbong sa People's Law Enforcement Board o PLEB, isang quasi-judicial body sa ilalim ng Interior Department. Pag-usapan natin yan sa ating serbisyo ngayon. Kasama natin ang isang opisyal mula sa Department of Interior and Local Government na si Interior Undersecretary for Operations Lord Villanueva. At pwede rin po kayong sumali sa aming talakayan. I-post ang inyong mga tanong o komento sa aming Facebook Live. Magandang hapon po, Yusek.
Magandang hapon po, Ruth. Thank you for inviting me.
Una po muna sa lahat, kasi alam ko marami sa ating mga kababayan hindi alam na meron itong PLEB, no? At ito ay talagang accessible sa kanila kasi dyan lang yan sa mga munisipyo or mga distrito, no? So paki-explain po, ano po ba itong PLEB?
Yes. Itong PLEB na to is quite a unique body. It's different from the usual na sumbungan when it comes to our police abuses. Now, of course, you have the courts. Of course, you have the Internal Audit Service of the PNP, or rather Internal Affairs Service of the PNP. Meron din pong ombudsman. But what's different about PLEB is that it's intentionally constituted as a community body. It has 5 members. 2 members are from government, the punong barangay and a councilor. No? Pero the other 3, the majority of the members of the PLEB are people from the community. In fact, the law specifies that they must not be government employees. These of these 3, one can be any responsible person in the community. One should be a lawyer, and then the third of these 3 should be a woman. So you can see that there is a deliberate intent by the law that PLEB is not an organization of insiders na walang lutuan dito. It's a community organization made of people, made of stakeholders from civil society.
Okay, ano po ba yung pusisiin pa natin itong PLEB, no? Ano po ba yung trabaho nito? Pwedeng dyan mag-file ng kaso at dyan na rin ba ito didinggin at hahatulan? Reklamo, I mean, oo.
Yes po, Ruth. Any abuse or oppression against any officer ay pwede pong dinggin ng PLEB. So whether this is irregularity in the performance of their duties, pang-aabuso, pananakit, grave neglect of duty, anything, and the sanctions that PLEB can impose as well cover the full range. No? This can be something as simple as suspension or demotion, at pwede po rin ang dismissal, pagtanggal sa serbisyo ang ipatol ng PLEB.
Tapos yung mga sakop po nito ay kailangan po ba yung police na naka-assign within the area? Dapat nandun sa jurisdiction ng city or ng mismong district?
Not necessarily po.
Okay.
Basically, ang requirement is that the name and details of the complainant, name and details of the officer complained of, and narration of facts ng incident. No? It's designed to be as easy for the citizens to do as possible.
Ngayon naman po, Yusek, pag-usapan natin yung mismong proseso ng paghahain ng reklamo. Ano po ang gagawin?
Simple po, may mga forms naman ang PLEB. So nandun po lahat yung actually, if I'm not mistaken, yung mga iba pang ginagawa ng mga PLEB, parang fill in the blanks yung ginagawa pa nila para madali para sa citizens natin. So doon nilalagay yung name and address and contact number ng complainant, tapos yung the policeman complained of, yung kanyang name, yung kanyang rank, and then very simple lang po, inanarrate lang, ilalagay doon kung ano yung ginawa niya. And then this will be sworn before a hearing officer sa PLEB. So at business hours, lagi pong may tao doon sa tanggapan po ng iba't ibang mga offices ng PLEB in different cities in order to hear and receive any complaints. So it's just as simple as going to the office of PLEB po and filling out a form. Ganun lang po kasimple.
Tapos ito po ay parang korte rin. So may mga hearing na ipapatawag mismo yung complainant tsaka yung mismong pulis na inirereklamo. Ganun po ba?
Yes po. So pagtanggap ng ng written complaint, unang-una po may parang preliminary investigation po or pre-charge investigation. So unang-una titignan po, the defending policeman will be invited to submit his counter affidavit to defend himself. Pagkatapos po nun, pag lumampas po sa hakbang na yon, magkakaroon po ng formal hearing or trial, so to speak. And merong position paper which will be submitted by the policeman to defend himself. And for the complainant po, he will be assisted by PLEB din. So hindi naman po kailangan na meron siyang abogado in order to go through with this process.
Sige po. Yusek, pagpatuloy natin ang ating usapan at break lang tayo sandali at itutuloy itong topic ng tungkol sa PLEB. Kasama pa rin si DILG Yusek Lord Villanueva sa pagbabalik ng Newsroom Ngayon dito lang sa CNN Philippines. Balikan natin ang ating serbisyo ngayon kasama si Interior Undersecretary for Operations Lord Villanueva. Pinag-uusapan po natin yung People's Law Enforcement Board o PLEB. Dito kayo pwedeng mag-file ng mga complaint against yung mga pulisya. Yung pinag-usapan natin kanina yung process and then sinabi nyo nga po, Yusek, na may parang hearing. Meron bang parang time frame na dapat maresolba yung particular na complaint or kaso po na yan?
Yes, it should be resolved within 60 days. Pero I've seen cases where in as little as 20 or 30 days na resolve po.
Okay.
So it's a a faster way of getting justice for our average citizen, in the cases that I've experienced. And what contributes to this also is that the members of the PLEB are not again, they're not drawn from the usual background of lawyers or police officials or judiciary and so on. These are mostly ordinary citizens. In fact, if you look at the 5 members, the 2 that are government officials, the punong barangay and a councilor, they're both elected officials. So even the government members of a PLEB are still accountable directly to the people. So with that kind of involvement in the community, it leads to faster service.
Pero Yusek, halimbawa yung isang, kasi syempre hindi mo maiwasan, laban ito sa mga pulis, sa mga uniform personnel. Paano yung yung magreklamo, baka natatakot, baka may banta, o baka gusto niya parang anonymous na lang. Pwede po ba yon?
Yes, anonymous complaints are specifically allowed in NAPOLCOM regulations regarding the PLEB. So nakalagay po doon sa pertinent regulations that in case of an anonymous, as long as we can verify the facts, pwede po yun.
Tapos yung mga parusang ipapataw, binanggit nyo na kanina, pwedeng suspension, dismissal, or kahit na demotion, yung ganyan, ano yan, ipapatupad na yan kaagad, pero, or pwede pang upamila, halimbawa, pwede ba yung dalhin sa NAPOLCOM for appeal? Or any court?
It can be appealed. Yes, it can be appealed. Meron mga tinatawag na regional appellate boards. So this is composed of this is a joint body composed of NAPOLCOM and police. So appealable po 'yon. Pero upon appeal, if the decision is upheld, then it is already executory.
Pero halimbawa, may mga kaso na sa NAPOLCOM or sa mga korte mismo, pero parang ang bagal ng usad, tapos mag-decide sila na i-file sa PLEB. Pwede po ba yon? Just in case lang, baka madoble yung reklamo?
That is allowed po. Because when you're talking about the courts, when you're talking about the ombudsman, these are criminal cases. So ang pinag-uusapan po dito ay
admin.
This is criminal liability. Itong nasa PLEB, ang pinag-uusapan po dito is administrative liability, basically ang trabaho ng isang police. So whether makukuha niya yung benepisyo niya, kung he will remain in the police service, yan ang pinag-uusapan dito sa PLEB. So it's a separate matter from yung sakop
yung mga
ng
sa korte. Oo. At tapos hindi rin nga kasi alam ng karamihan sa ating mga kababayan na yung bawat munisipyo, saan po ba ito matatagpuan? Kung magpa-file sila ng case, saan sila pupunta? Saan po yung PLEB office usually?
Well, we can provide with the contact details no, for each particular municipality, but generally these are located sa mga city halls or municipal halls ng
Okay.
NAPOLCOM generally will have the information if you need a directory ng PLEB, and we would encourage all our interested citizens to get this information.
Again, huli na lang, Yusek, yung pakiabisuhan ng ating publiko sa ganitong proseso, no, nagfa-file ng reklamo sa PLEB na pwede rin pala yung mga anonymous, no? Again, ano yung dapat nilang gawin at yung contact information in case may iba pa silang questions.
Well, when making complaints, I would advise our citizens that kailangan specific po. So, yung mga dates, names, places, para ma-verify talaga ng PLEB itong complaint. And I would encourage na huwag matakot po ang mga citizens. They might not be aware, pero very active po ang mga PLEB natin. I was a former local government official, so I saw it happen. You know, may maraming abusadong police that received their just punishment. You know, they were demoted, they were suspended. So may mga consequences talaga. At the same time, I want to say that the vast majority of our policemen are mga bayani po. They are heroes. They do what's right. In general, it is a few bad eggs that spoil the name and the honor of the vast majority of our policemen who contribute greatly to our society. So it's the desire of PLEB that these bad eggs are appropriately caught and punished po.
Contact information po, Yusek.
Yes po. Na-flash kanina yung number po ng NAPOLCOM Public Information Office. So citizens desiring general information about PLEB can contact that number.
Okay.
And on the NAPOLCOM website po there's additional information. Kung kailangan po halimbawa primer or mga guide, meron po dyan.
Maraming po salamat kay Interior Undersecretary for Operations Lord Villanueva.